In this video, I'm going to explain how to import data using the Excel data import template. Let's take a look at Outperform Planning. We see Outperform Planning with its dashboard, sales. It's all about chocolate products. But what if you're not interested in these chocolate products anymore and want to use your own company's data? Is that possible? The answer is yes, that's possible. And it is supported by means of a workflow. Let's look at workflows. Let's look at workflow definition just to see what workflows we have in the system. That's quite a few. And I know that workflow number 10 is use your company's data. And that will go through 3 basic steps: remove the demo data, set up your ERP connector, and import your company's data. If we talk about importing data, let's take a look at the documentation. For that, we go to the website. This is the Outperform website documentation, and we find the section on data management. And under data management, we first take a look at the overview. This is how Outperform Planning interacts with data. On the left-hand side, we find the main source of the data, the ERP system. Then there is an arrow into the staging tables, and then there's another arrow into the application Outperform Planning itself. And in the list of ERP systems that we can integrate with, we also find Excel. Now, Excel, of course, is not a proper ERP system, but it can serve as a data conduit, as a conduit to bring data into Outperform Planning. And that vehicle I'm going to explain in this session. We can also look over here, importing data into Outperform Planning. There is already some documentation on it, but it is textual with some screenshots, and I'm now going to give a live demo on how this works. Back to the application. We know already that we need to work with this workflow number 10. And if we go then into start workflow, then we start a workflow here. And then as we are expecting, there's this strip at the bottom that guides you through the steps. The first step is already launched. Are you sure you want to remove all demo data from the database? This action cannot be reverted. Now in this lesson, I say yes to that. And that will take a while in the background. It'll take away the products, it'll take away the customers, the warehouses, the sales orders. It basically wipes everything clean for you to have a clean start. It has completed and removed the demo data. That step is striked out. The next step is set up your ERP connector. Setting up the ERP connector allows you to choose an ERP connector, and you see the various ERP systems, but you also see Excel, and Excel was already there as a selected choice. And then the next step is to download a template, and the step to download a template exports the ERP data template to a place of your choice. And I export it to the desktop and save here, and then I finished the export. In the next step of this set up your ERP connector, you're asked to select the import data file. But before we do that, let's take a look at the desktop. Here we see the Outperform data template that we've just downloaded. And if we take a look inside, then we see right at the front a field list. We see a list of fields that we can populate. We see the tab products, in which you can list your products, product code, product description. There is a hover that explains how to use this column. It links to the field list over here. ERP product. It has the product code, and that is of course unique code, and it's also mandatory. It's not empty. So there's a lot of detailed explanation. That same explanation is repeated with a bit more depth on the Zendesk. So if you're ever confused about a field, you know where to find the explanations. Last remark is the dark purple fields are obligatory. The other fields are free choice to populate them or not populate them. I have already done some preparation for this demo, and I have populated an Excel template, which is already containing some products, P1, P2, and P3. some customers, some information on which product is sold to which customer, and so forth. So I have this ready to go for the demo, and continuing here, I will therefore on my desktop not choose this Outperform ERP data template, but choose the Outperform ERP data template populated. That's how I set up my link, and now I am okay. In the next step is then import your data, which starts the import data wizard, and that is a wizard in 2 or 3 steps. In the first step, we populate the ERP stage tables, and in the second step, we populate the Outperform tables. And that again links to this overview picture, this step and this step. We're going to do both steps in one go. There's no reason to hold back. In this step of the wizard, you will be allowed to choose which entities you import. All is an easy choice. Even if certain tabs in your Excel sheet are empty, you can still start with the ones that are not empty. It'll just work itself down the list and pick up whatever it finds there. We run it. I expect some feedback on what it has done. And indeed, ERP products, nothing to be deleted because everything was empty. 3 rows entered, and then later on in the next step, ACM products or Outperform products, also 3 rows. So that looks all healthy. 132 rows of sales orders. It's only a small amount that I have prepared, but this is just to get an idea. And what do I then have after that step? I have my products, product 1, 2, and 3. I have my customers. I have information on products and customers, and even some information on the sales price. And if I put this to section 1 to 3, then I have P1 and P2 sold to customers 1 and 2. I have my warehouses, 1 in Delft and 1 in Dortmund. And I will also have my sales orders, because that's as far as I populated this Excel workbook. What functional position will I have reached? Let's take a look at the slice and dice. I can see my P1, P2, and P3. They all have sales history. I've just made up some numbers over the 12 months. And for P3, it's a little bit more varied. It expands to product at customer. And this is a sine wave, and this is a cosine wave that has some negative numbers. Negative numbers play a special role. That's not part of this video. This video is about importing data. But I have reached the point that I can start generating a sales plan based on my history, although it's just 1 year. But again, the focus of this video is importing data. To relate that to the overview slide of the Outperform Planning business process, I've done system integration, I've done data import, I'm ready to make a sales plan, and I'm ready to publish that sales plan into a demand plan on Product Warehouse, because I have imported products, customers, some history on product customer level, some data on product customer combinations and sales prices. I've imported warehouses, and I've imported suppliers. Other data can also be imported in the same way, and you can start building up your supply chain system, telling it how to respond to the demand on warehouse with supply decisions. And all that data import goes via the same principle. Populate the appropriate tab sheet in your Excel data import template, run the import wizard, and your data will be there. Thank you.